Hey guys, today we're going to work on solving equations with variables on both sides of the equation. But first, we have a couple little notes that you need to remember when solving equations. When we say both sides of the equation, we mean both sides of the equal sign. And just a reminder, the coefficient is the number before the variable. For example, the 4 in 4x plus 2 is a variable, or is the coefficient. And the coefficient in the problem 3/8 in 3/8 is the coefficient. Now here's a little hint when solving for equations with variables on both sides. You can start with the smallest variable when solving, and it'll make solving the problem a lot easier. Alright, and just a reminder, when solving equations, we always do the opposite operations. Now, let's practice some. So we're going to solve for 4k minus 8 equals 2k plus 6. So the first thing I like to do is rewrite the problem. Now remember, we said if you start with the smallest variable, it can help you a lot. So the smallest variable is going to be 2k, because 2k is smaller than 4k. So we're going to use the opposite operations and subtract 2k from each side. And then we're going to show our work, so we're going to write what we have left. 4k minus 2k is 2k, minus 8 equals 6. Now, all we have left is a typical two-step equation, so we're going to add 8 to both sides, remembering to show our work. And then we're left with 2k equals 14. And then we're going to divide each side by 2. And we'll be left with k equals 7. Now let's try another problem. Let's try 9 minus 3m equals 2m plus 4. Now remember, it's easier to start with the smallest variable, so we're going to add 3m to both sides because negative 3m is smaller than 2m. When we add 3m to both sides, we're going to get 9 equals 5m plus 4. Now we have our two-step equation again, so subtract 4 from each side, and you're left with 5 equals 5m. Divide each side by 5, and you get 1 equals m. Okay, now let's look at the last one. It's a little bit trickier. M over 2 plus 5 equals m over 4 minus 3. Now, the m over 2 may look a little weird, but remember, if there's not a coefficient in front of a variable, that coefficient is 1. So when we say m over 2, we're really meaning 1/2 m. So we can rewrite the problem to say 1/2 m plus 5 equals 1/4 m minus 3. Now, we want to take the smallest variable, which is 1/4 m, and subtract it. So we're going to subtract it from both sides. Okay, when we subtract 1/4 m from 1/2 m, we can use our calculator. So we can type in 1/2 minus 1/4, which is going to get you 1/4 m. So you'll be left with 1/4 m plus 5 equals negative 3. Now just your typical two-step problem, so subtract 5 from each side, and you're going to be left with 1/4 m equals negative 8. Now, we have to divide each side by 1/4 because we want to end up with just m. So this may look a little bit tricky, but remember, we can use our calculator to divide negative 8 by 1/4. And we get our answer of m equals negative 32. And there we go.